Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Laura Sturm.
Welcome to Powerlifting and Power Ballads, the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Laura Sturm.
And I'm Josh Rohr. We have a announcement from USA Powerlifting. They have put out a rough schedule for 2023. I actually like this. There's a little bit of a change. The main change is that they separated collegiate and high school nationals. They separated the teen and juniors from high school and collegiate nationals, and they've also separated raw nationals. There's no more mega nationals, put it that way. So there's basically back to equipped nationals, bench nationals, and raw nationals being separate. I really like this, and the way the schedule's lined up. Basically the format of it. And also they're bringing back regionals. Forgot to mention that too. This is kind of fun. Like, I'm not on the EC anymore, so like these announcements are like, they're news to me. I'm like, hey, cool. So
and someone else made these decisions. Yay!
Yeah. So the rough itinerary, they're saying state championships are supposed to be held November through March, which I think is pretty much in line with what it is now. I think that makes sense. Regionals are going to be June through August. And then nationals, we're going to have military nationals in March, high school nationals in March, collegiate nationals in April, equipped nationals in June, which will be teen, junior, open, and masters equipped. Youth and bench nationals will be in August, and then raw nationals, teen, junior, open, and masters will be in September. So that actually, looking at that, for those that, so there's a couple implications here. If somebody wants to do both raw and equipped in the pro series, there's now 3 months between events, so they can theoretically do that. So speaking of the pro series specifically, so March will be the Arnold, which is the finals, but also the beginning of the following year's pro series. We already said June is equipped nationals, bench nationals in August, and raw nationals in September. And Virginia Pro is listed as December. Obviously, there's another note that they put out there that additional pro series events will be announced by September 1st. So there's obviously going to be other pro series meets that are going to pop up. But it's a much more organized calendar so that people actually know when the meets are and they're not all on top of each other. Like this year with the UBU events, they're all kind of on top of each other in nationals and all that together. And it's just kind of a cluster, but that's the cards we were dealt this year. But next year, I think, is going to be a lot smoother. People are going to be able to compete in more divisions of the pro series if they wish. Or at least there's the opportunity to do so just because of the schedule. I think this is good. I like it.
Awesome.
What are your thoughts?
That looks awesome. I mean, and I personally like seeing it kind of the way that visually you have organized on our personal itinerary. So I know other people aren't seeing this. And I'd really recommend, this would be a nice little.
Yeah, this is posted
Instagram.
just like this. This was posted on the USA Powerlifting website
awesome.
on the recent news. This is
because that visual is very helpful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep. Very nice. So, and the other note I forgot to mention, the first international meet's going to be held in Melbourne, Australia, December 3rd and 4th. So that's happening at the end of this year, and there's more countries that are actually coming online. I know I heard. Which is the good Korea, North Korea or South Korea? South Korea.
South Korea. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's South Korea is up and running. I think there's another one too. I can't remember. There's two others actually. I can't remember off the top of my head, but so other countries are coming on board with USA Powerlifting and actually running events there. And I believe there's a pro series going to be starting next year for international lifters as well. With giving them an opportunity to make it to the pro series final at the Arnold as well.
That's exciting.
Yeah, super cool.
So what would the international body of USA Powerlifting be called? Would it still be called USA Powerlifting?
Yeah. So right now there's like USA Powerlifting Korea, USA Powerlifting Australia, which it's kind of weird, but I guess it kind of makes sense because, like NFL, for example, they have I mean, I guess it doesn't say USA football, I guess, but like NFL has NFL Europe, NFL whatever. So it's kind of like their branding that's,
right.
gone international. So I don't know. I like it.
Very
I think
cool.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it gives USA lifters that international venue. That's exciting.
And word on the street. So like, as far as I know, there's going to be 3 pro meets for each series. So like there'll be the Arnold. So for raw lifters, for example, there's going to be, again, this could evolve. I'm not part of the necessarily the decision-making process anymore, but there's going to be the Arnold Nationals, and then the Virginia Pro would be the 3 meets for raw lifters to choose from, with nationals being required. But international, if there's an international pro series as well, those non-national pro meets that are internationally done. So like, let's just say Australia, let's say they have, their 2 pro meets and their nationals. USA lifters can go do one of those other pro meets, and that count for their points in the US Pro Series, but they have to do US Nationals. And then lifters in Australia could come do a pro meet in the US, but they have to do Australian Nationals. I think that's the way it's going. And then I'm not sure who gets the invites for the pro final yet. I think it's going to be like the Pro Series champion from other countries get an invite in addition to the top 5 US finishers, I think is how it's going to work. But again, it's still evolving, but it's kind of exciting. I think it's pretty cool.
That is cool. If I were interested in competing again, this would be something I'd be like, whoa, that's cool.
You mean like the bench meet you're going to do in October?
Yeah,
because
that's not really competing. That's just a thing.
Okay. Whatever. So yes,
it's much more fun if I think of it that way too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fun in general, I think.
It should be.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about the music, the power ballads part?
Yeah. So we put out on our last week's episode that our next tournament's going to be the top 5 TV show intro songs. So that link is in our bio. It is up and running. And what I also put on social media yesterday was that we're going to announce a secret code this week and next week on the podcast. So if anybody submits their list with this code, that will put them in the higher seedings. Not that the seedings really matter. It's kind of a cluster. So, but anyway, so what do you want to use as a code? It can be anything.
Josh loves burpees.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, so you can ask, but then you don't really want.
Okay, fine.
Whatever you want.
Fine, we'll do it. Josh loves burpees. There. I hope you're happy. Don't say I never did anything for you.
Well, it could be, saying that's on your favorite T-shirt.
I don't know where that shirt went. It magically disappeared.
Huh? That's so strange.
Yeah. Actually, I think I know where it is. So every now and then, a large number of my T-shirts disappear. And I have figured out that it is my wife taking them out of the rotation because they're either too old or I have too many powerlifting shirts or whatever. I don't know, but supposedly they're stored somewhere and they're going to be made into a quilt at some point. And some of my favorite shirts I have not seen in years. So I'm hoping they are in a bag ready to be made into a quilt somewhere. But
oh, that's amazing. I know I have a box of T-shirts in my carport that came from various meets, and a lot of them I won't wear because they're just like that thick cotton anyway, and I don't like. They'd be perfect for a quilt that I'm going to make someday.
Yeah.
It's
someday.
Probably never going to happen.
Yeah. It might. You never know. So anyway, secret code, Josh loves burpees, for whatever it's worth. That'll get you in the top of the rankings when we get the tournament started. We are still awaiting final confirmation of what our sponsor or what the gift is going to be for the top 5 list. So whoever wins the tournament, there's going to be a prize. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but we will announce that as soon as we know. Yeah. Let's get that list in by the 16th of July.
Okay. I should start doing some research.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta start weeding out my list. I got like too many.
Boy, maybe you need to just throw some my way because I'm like clueless.
Yeah. Maybe.
You're like, no. Okay, that's fine. Be that way.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, this is all about your own creativity. So here's the thing, though. My list is not going to win. It might like it never. My list never wins. Is the reality, but most of mine are like from 80s shows. So a lot of the people that will be voting on Instagram weren't even alive in the 80s. Like that's the thing. It's weird. So anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into the powerlifting situation. Bum, bum, bum. You rub a magic chalk ball and out pops a powerlifting genie. Probable. It's fine. This genie grants you 3 powerlifting related wishes. 1 wish is for yourself and 2 wishes are for other people. Who and what do you wish for?
So I'm going to keep, I was trying to decide if I want to go super serious on this one or just kind of keep it light. I'm going to keep it light. For me, I would wish for a slightly below average bench. So if I could get my bench up to slightly below average, that would be awesome.
Instead of what you feel like it is.
Instead of awful. And then my other 2 people would be Lily Webb and Cindy Yeager. I would ask for Lee to love deadlifts as much as Cindy, and for Cindy to love squats as much as Lee.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I like it. This would have to be one I have to think about a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, can I just like do like a blanket statement that has everybody like loving powerlifting just for the sake of loving powerlifting instead of like being at meets and being like so
you're talking about like general spectators, like
no, like lifters. Like every time I've been to like the Special Olympics powerlifting meets, like I witness a love of lifting just for the sake of lifting.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think a lot of times in competitions I've seen like people just get so, and I'm probably one of them, right? Focused on the outcome and the pressure, and it's so serious instead of just the love of lifting. And yeah, and that's really what it should be about.
Yeah,
at the end of the day. So there you go.
Got it. So you're going there, like not really even answering the question, but doing it in a very genuine, thoughtful way where I can't even say that's the wrong answer.
That's wrong. Yeah, you can't say that. Sorry.
Dang it.
But a powerlifting genie doesn't exist either. So
maybe it does.
Pop. Maybe. All right. Our new lifter tip is to never, ever go up after missing an opener. Never, ever. 99% of the time, one should not go up after missing an opener, especially as a new lifter. There is still a 0.01% chance that the situation might call for it. So never say never, but in general, don't do it. Agree or disagree, Josh?
Yeah, I feel like this couldn't be more clear. No, I try. I think so many people like go up after they miss because they want to stay on track with what they're trying to do. And again, I think almost every single time that's the wrong decision. There are exceptions to the rule, like especially in equipped world, like if it's not enough weight to touch in your shirt, or you're a little bit high because you couldn't get down in gear. Even then it's still not always that's the answer, but sometimes it is. And I think if you're a new lifter, I don't think there's really ever a situation as a new lifter being first time competitor that you should ever go up after missing. So I'd say 100% of the time don't do that for a new lifter. But when you've been around a little bit more, you're a little bit more experienced. There are very, very specific situations that may call for it. So I don't know. I just think I think there's people that always say you never go up after you miss an opener, and there's other people that say well, if you're strong enough to do it, you should. And it's like, there's never like the understanding of the specific situations for both. So I think I don't think there is a one exact answer, but I'm very indecisive on this, right? I'd say most times definitely don't go up, but sometimes do.
But you said never ever.
Never ever. But then I say never say never.
Boy, you're full of contradictions today.
Yep.
So you're saying in general, if you're new, don't ever go up.
Correct.
And probably if you're not new, only go up if there's really a good reason for it.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. So I like I said, this should be crystal clear to people.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. If you say so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep it short and sweet, Josh.
Cool. All right. Let's do it.
Good stuff.
Don't forget to submit your list. The deadline is July 16th. Follow us on Instagram at PL Ballads Podcast. And if you're interested in getting powerlifting coaching, check out Team Roar. Set up a free consultation. We'll give you the details. Other than that, we'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.